This is the Blaze Radio Network.
Lock and load. This is Steve Deace. The Steve Deace Show.
Welcome to it. How in the world are you? Thanks for coming along for the ride today. I know. Dry your eyes. Steve's not here. It's okay. I have no idea where he is. And I almost care. I just know that I'm here. So welcome to the Blaze Radio, Blaze Television, Blaze Podcast, the entire Blaze Network. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride. Listen, we got a lot to do. I should introduce myself if you don't know. I'm Jeff Fisher. Hello. Host of Chewing the Fat podcast. Available wherever you get your podcasts. I almost said available wherever free podcasts are sold. And I guess I'm not supposed to say that anymore. So, okay, that's fine. You can just subscribe to the podcast, whatever platform you choose, and turn that frown upside down with your subscription to Chewing the Fat. Welcome to the Steve Deace Show. So there's a whole bunch to get to today. I mean, we have Hurricane Delta getting ready to make landfall. We've got Trump wanting and cringing to get out of that White House. He's saying that he's going to, hold a rally this weekend in Florida. The naysayers, the COVID-19 naysayers, don't want that to happen. I have a great idea. I think it's a great idea for our president. Now, he wants to do these rallies. He already said he didn't want to do the debate coming up on the 15th. And he said, I don't want to do it virtually. They're going to do it virtual. We're not going to do it. It's not worth it. Mr. President, hold a rally and do the virtual debate from the rally. There's no law that says you have to do the virtual debate from your closet at the White House. Let Joe Biden be in his basement, and you do it virtually from a rally. That way you get the audience. I mean, it would be awesome. So please rethink that. Say you're going to do it, and just tell people, show up. Your crowd will be there. Do the debate with your live audience virtually from the rally. Please. That would be great. I hope I know that he apparently is sitting in on the Rush Limbaugh show today. Maybe someone will call and ask him. I don't know. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to make that happen. It'd be a good platform for him to make it happen. And we have other Washington, D.C. news that is agonizing as usual. But Hurricane Delta is getting ready to make landfall, and you can see by some of the pictures that we have of the tracking of the storm, it is headed for, Louisiana is most likely going to be where landfall is. It's, the cone of death is, a wide swath, but it's looking to make that landfall in Louisiana again. They've been hammered. They're still not even picked up from Laura. And now Delta is making the Louisiana a good landing point. It's a Category 3. It probably will be a 2 maybe when it makes landfall, but it'll make a 3. It's going to do some serious damage. And we know that Jim Cantore from the Weather Channel is in St. Martin Parish. So if you are in anywhere near that, I guess it's the Breaux Bridge, Breaux Bridge in St. Martin Parish. That's where he's at, or that's where he was this morning. If you're anywhere close to that, it's too late. You should have already left. Jim shows up in your neighborhood, you should have already left. So just hunker down. And good luck, and God bless, and I hope everyone makes it through safely. I know Mercury One will be there. They have been there already, helping with the reconstruction of everything after Laura, so they'll be there again. You can go to mercury1.org and donate if you want to help, or you can donate your time if you don't have the money, but they'll be there helping after this. I know that, St. Martin Parish and that entire area is just, this is, I think, the 4th storm this year. And we're already into the second round of names for hurricanes. Damn climate change, man. There has never been storms hit the Gulf Coast of of the United States ever before. Boy, we couldn't have that. That would be just outlandish. And I know that's what the world is talking about. But when you look at all the polls, nobody really cares about climate change. The top 5 things that they poll that people care about is A, the economy, or number 1. Number 2, terrorism, national security. 3 is education. 4 is healthcare. 5 is crime. Is that climate change on that list? No, it's not. No, it is not on that list. In fact, climate change is way down the list. Only about, 20-some% of the people actually rate that as what they care about first and foremost on their list of the election coverage. We have, look, I don't want to get, I feel like, look, the election is, 3 weeks away? And we have the debates. We had the vice presidential debate earlier this week, and we're looking for, I hope, that President Trump takes my advice and does the virtual debate from a rally. I hope that happens. But is it really changing anyone's mind? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I know that we're supposed to be concerned about the undecideds. I don't know that the debates help. If you're undecided by now, I don't know that the debates help. Yeah, I like to see them, and they're fun to watch, even if they're agonizing. But, they're fun to watch. But I don't know that it changes anyone's mind, especially the people that are watching them. I find it difficult to believe that you change your mind. Oh, did he just say that? I've never heard him say that before. I've never heard her say that before. I think I'm going to vote for that person. I don't know. I don't think that changes anyone's mind at all. But, maybe it does. Maybe it does. If you're undecided, call 888-900-3393. Let me know. Tell me you want to hear what they have to say. Tell me what would change your mind. Tell me if you're undecided, but you're leaning toward one candidate or the other, but you're still not sure, what would change your mind. Would it be a yard sign? Would it be a bumper sticker? Would it be someone walking through the mall or the store or walking down the sidewalk in your neighborhood with a MAGA hat? Would it be that? Would that change your mind? I don't know. I don't think so. I saw, we have yard sign wars going on in my neighborhood now, and I talked a little bit about it on Chewing the Fat. There was the one guy that started it all off on the corner, out just as you're going in or leaving the neighborhood, with his Trump Pence sign on the front lawn. That's gone now. A for sale sign went up. I don't know what that says. I just know maybe he felt, the real estate agent said, maybe you ought to take the Trump side down. The guy next door had a Trump sign, and it looks as though the stand for the sign is still in his yard, but the sign itself is down. So I'm not sure if he was gone and he only puts it up when he is there. But, it's the stand is still there, but the Trump Pence sign was gone. And then there's a couple of houses with their Biden-Harris signs. One house has the Biden-Harris sign in the front window inside. I don't know. Maybe they're concerned that someone's going to take it. I don't know. And one family has their Biden-Harris sign behind the Halloween decorations. So I'm not sure if it's it's part of the Halloween direction, or Halloween, all their decorations, or if it's, them saying, yeah, we're for Biden-Harris too. And if you're not, don't come here for Halloween. Okay. I'm good with that. No problem. Don't worry about it. We can make that happen. Look, and I saw the great thing that, as long as we're, on Washington and Trump and Biden and the rest of them, I saw where Speaker Pelosi is, unveiling her new plan, their new plan, the Congress's new plan, to create a panel to gauge the president's capacity. And everyone is concerned that it's a shot at President Trump, because they were saying that, he was in the hospital at Walter Reed with the COVID-19. And he didn't never turned it over to Mike Pence. But really, the latest thoughts on that is that she's putting this forward so if Biden wins, they have this in the can and ready to use for his effectiveness. And okay, are you going to really invoke the 25th Amendment against Donald Trump? I don't think so. You got to get Pence to sign off on that anyway. But you definitely would get Kamala to sign off on it, right? If it was Joe Biden, yeah, I do believe you would. Yes, you would. So, is that what they would do? Yes. Oh, geez, we already have that in? Oh, no, Joe. I know. Look, you're fine, but we're going to just go ahead and let you take a. We're all a little concerned. So don't you worry. But you don't have to answer anything anymore. I know it's a problem for you. I know you had a real problem with answering the question about his big deal is he won't answer about packing the court. What? Oh, if I answer that now, that's going to be the lead story. Yeah, that's why you're on the campaign trail, and to answer questions and see where you stand on specific things. That's what we do. I know, but if I answer that now, it's going to be all over the place, and you won't be able to. That's all you're going to talk about. I want to talk about what's going on now. Do you? Okay. All right. Thanks. No problem. Appreciate it, Joe. I mean, has he seemed okay the last week or so? I guess. For Joe, he's seemed okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing. I think we can all agree that there's some kind of problem, right? I don't know if it's a medical problem or if it's just an aging problem, but there is an issue, and I hate to see that. I hate to see that happen. But that's what they're saying, that the Pelosi thing is up. So we'll see what happens. Actually, I really am. It's strange to me that President Trump he's itching to get out, and he's saying the doctors have given him the go-ahead, and he's going to do this rally. Wait, hold off on it just for a little bit. I know the new thing is quarantine for 10 days, I think. When they started out, it was, I think, 20 or 21, and then it went to 14, and now it's 10 days. So we'll see. We'll talk a little bit more about the numbers and what we should think about the COVID-19 lockdowns. It feels like, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on in the show, but it feels like, and I know we're not supposed to base things on feelings. I got it. But it feels like we're getting close to more and more places wanting to lock it down again. It really is. We're getting the reports of the numbers rising, and we're going crazy, and the numbers are rising in Europe. The numbers are rising in different areas in the U.S. It feels like we're getting those reports so that they could lock us down again. And I don't know that the bulk of America, puts up with that. Are you gonna put up with a lockdown again? I don't know. It seemed pretty easy the last time. It seemed really easy the last time, didn't it? Yes, it did. So I woke up early this morning because I come in and sit in with Pat during Pat Unleashed here on Blaze Television and Radio Network, who, every morning, 6 a.m. Central, right here on Blaze Radio and Blaze Television Network. And I see a new video released. I'm sorry, it's not a video. It's a film. I see a new film released from Oreo making the rounds on the social media. And I thought, well, all right, how long? And I click play so I can see how long the film is, because I'm not going to give them more than 2-3 minutes. And I grabbed my cup of coffee, and it's like 3 minutes long. So, and they hooked me. They got me in after about the first 30 seconds. And it's such a woke film. And it's for Oreos, but they want me to feel bad and feel like, oh, see, same-sex people are really have feelings too, and they're really struggling with their families. And because I don't know, are we living in the 50s, the 60s? Maybe I give you the 70s. Maybe I give you the early 70s when people had a tough time saying, hey, mom, dad, I'm gay. And it was a shock to the parents. What? I won't hear of it. But that's what Oreo is leading us down the primrose path to. So we'll see if we can make it through the Oreo film. But I wanted to share it with you because I want you to know that they want you to know that Oreo is part of the woke generation. Do we have that? Yes, thank you. Oh boy, here we go. Maybe we...
Hey. You okay?
You okay?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just going home. I'm struggling, I don't really want to see mom and dad. I'm bringing you home to meet them. Yeah, I know. They're just driving to the house now. A lot of those of you on Blaze Radio struggling with seeing mom and dad again. Look at that. It's a white picket fence and a beautiful home. The all-American home.
Hi, baby.
Oh, and it's a multicultural family. It's so beautiful.
Hey, Dad.
And Dad gets up and,
Hey,
oh no,
baby.
hey,
Nice
how
to
you
meet
doing?
you.
He just says hi.
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Doesn't come in. Yeah. Get out of here. I'm so bummed that Dad won't really talk to me. Oh, look. Brother and sister are here with their kids. They're heterosexual, those nasty heterosexuals. Look at that. They're here, and it's such a... look, that's Dad out in the yard giving the son and daughter a hug with the grandkids, and it's just a wonderful thing. And now she's going to go for a bike ride. Dad's out in the yard. Doesn't really say anything. He just gives them a nice little wave. We're just going through the neighborhood, reliving times as a child with my girlfriend and sharing a secret kiss away from the house. And then...
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
You just wanted my help, I know.
Oh, the neighbors are frowning upon them, won't even hardly look at them. Shut up. I don't know if I can make it through the whole thing. This drives me crazy. But there they are, and they're looking at the new videotape of when we were a kid. And they see Dad and the little girl with their Oreos. And Dad's there, and he doesn't really say anything. He just kind of smiles. It's so sad because Dad doesn't seem to be accepting of their lesbian love affair. Or that's love. You can't put a gender on love, okay? You just can't. And nobody would accept that here in 2020.
Is that your dad?
So, is your dad outside? What's he doing? What's going on?
Dad.
So Dad's up the next morning. Looks like he's working out in the front yard. What's he doing? Oh my gosh! Oh, he painted the white picket fence rainbow. I didn't know if it was the right colors, though. The flag is only everywhere to know the colors of the rainbow flag.
You like it?
Oh, a loving world starts with a loving home. I hope the HOA is okay with that rainbow color fence, because I don't think they are. Oreo. Oh, it's beautiful. Bringing families together for over 100 years. Beautiful. And I thought, okay, I got it. No, I got it. No problem. We're bringing families together. Thanks, Oreo. I appreciate it. You may make sure that we accept it all. I got it. But then I thought, well, why didn't I see a big to-do with Oreo releasing their rainbow-colored Oreos? I mean, that would be a tie-in, right? I mean, not that I worked for Nabisco for a period of time in my life, but I mean, I would just say that would be a smart thing to do for Oreo. And, oh my gosh, here we go. Yes, beginning today, they're going to be giving away 10,000 packs. Now, they're not hitting the shelves yet. They're not good enough to hit the shelves yet, but they're going to giving away 10,000 packs of the limited edition cookies. All you have to do is to participate in the hashtag Proud Parent campaign. If you go to Instagram or Twitter, sharing your allyship, make sure that you follow and tag at Oreo, and use the hashtags proud parent and giveaway. And they're going to decide, are you good enough? Are you good enough to get a package of rainbow Oreos? Because they're filled with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and pink creams. And, you know, when you put all those together, it's a rainbow flag. So when you open up your Oreo package, it's going to look like a rainbow flag. And that's just beautiful. So if you feel lucky, get on your social media accounts and use the hashtag proud parent and giveaway and follow and tag at Oreo, and you may get a pack of the rainbow colored Oreos. Now, I will say, I'm going to do that. I want a pack. If they're going to give away free Oreos, I'm a fan. No problem. I'm good to go. I know that may come as a surprise, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm surprised that they just didn't put them on the shelf. My gosh, we get all kinds of different Oreos, maple cream cookies and gingerbread flavors and mint flavored that hit the shelves, but the rainbow cookies deserve their own special giveaway. I know. In honor of LGBTQ History Month, this month, it's a new film, 3 minutes long, Proud Parent, and a loving world starts with a loving home. I know, it's beautiful. Look, I seriously, I would like to know, are we living in that time? For real? I don't know that we are. I honestly say no, we're not. That you're afraid to tell your parents, who probably already know. If you're living with your parents, they've got a pretty good idea who you are. Yes, they do. Who's a good little girl? You are. Come here. What, you're gay? Get out of here. I won't talk to you. Stop. Not today's world. I'm sorry. No. I don't believe it. I'm, all for, hey, start at home. Love your kids. I got it. And I'm all for it. It's a beautiful thing. Are you afraid to tell your parents? I don't think so. Not in today's world. You're afraid to tell them if you're for Trump, I bet. You're afraid to tell them if you're for Biden, I bet, if they're Trump people. I bet you're more afraid of that than you are, Mom, Dad, I'm bringing my girlfriend home, but we live together, and I want you to be okay with it. Well, I'm not really okay with you living together, but sure, bring your girlfriend home. I get that. Whether you're a male or a female, or two females, or two males. I get the idea of not living together before you're joined at the hip, but I don't get being scared to come out like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now I want Oreo cookies. I watched a video. You know what? It's social media's fault. It's social media's fault that I am eating all this junk food. So it's the Oreo Nabisco's fault for this one. And then I watched a video, and we don't have it, and we don't have to show it. It's just it's a chocolate bomb for hot chocolate. Have you seen these? And it's a chocolate wrapped around marshmallows. So you put it in the cup, and you heat your milk, and then you pour the hot milk on the chocolate bomb, and the hot milk melts the chocolate, and then it pops up, and you've got chocolate milk with marshmallows from the chocolate bomb. It looks really good. Really good. And it got me thinking that as one of my favorite things as a kid, I haven't had it in a long time, I promise, is my dad used to make real pudding, where you have to stir it, and no, everybody makes the instant stuff now, but the real pudding you got to cook on the stove and stir it, and it's it's hot, it's warm, but before it sets, you pour that over ice cream. Oh my gosh, that is so. I'll give you a little. That's a good holiday treat for everyone. Just have that hot pudding, chocolate, or whatever flavor you prefer, chocolate, and pour that over ice cream. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I want some. Someone, please, we've got to be able to make that before the show ends. That has to. Just run to the store real quick. Put your mask on if you have to. Go in and get some real pudding and some milk and some ice cream and some spoons and some dishes. That's all, though. Just get everything you need. And then come back and cook it here in the kitchen here at Mercury Studios. Nobody's in there right now. Just throw it on the stove and make that happen. That'd be great. Oh, I want that so bad right now. Ooh, a warning, too. And I better get this in. A quick warning. Jeez. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say 13, and it may be more by now, salmonella infections in 8 states. They confirmed that 7 of the infections have resulted in hospitalizations. I know. 10 of the 13 ill people reported contact with bearded dragons and hedgehogs. So, if you have a pet bearded dragon or a pet hedgehog, be careful. All right. We've had similar outbreaks like this tied to hedgehogs in the last decade. If you are an owner of the bearded dragons or the hedgehogs, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. They keep telling us to do that for everything. It's getting tiresome. They continue to tell us, always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, especially right after you touch your pet. They're specifically talking about the bearded dragon and the hedgehog. Don't kiss or snuggle your pet. Wait. Aren't you supposed to snuggle and kiss your bearded dragon and hedgehog? Who's a good little hedgehog? Come here. Who's a good little bearded dragon with that giant tongue and jumping over the couch to couch? Come here. Now they can spread the germs to your face and mouth. Don't do it. And keep your pet out of your kitchen and other areas where you eat, store, and prepare food. Okay? Remember that if you have bearded dragon or hedgehog pets. Remember that. You don't want them in the kitchen area. Where the animals that belong in your kitchen are your dogs. Clearly, they're your dogs. And one of the things that makes you like a happy dog owner is being able to take care of the health and happiness of the dogs. And those what you're supposed to do as the owner, right? At the end of the day, that's it. It's your responsibility to take care of your dogs. And I found that Rough Greens helps you with that process. I haven't had a pet in a while. I've watched my son's dog for a long time when he was off, away at school and away playing with different teams around the country. And so we watched his dog King, and King now is getting up there. He hasn't been with us for at least with my son, but I made sure they started using Rough Greens, and they have more than one dog now. But most importantly, I cared about King, and they just love it. They just love it. There's pictures I've showed them somewhere on one of the shows of the dogs just going crazy over the food because Rough Greens was put on it. I mean, they need the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, the probiotics, the omega oils, things that they would get if they were out in the wild, if they weren't stuck at home. But their regular food, all that regular kibble dog food that you give them, that's sterilized. So because when they cook it to give it a longer lasting shelf life, it becomes dead food for the dogs, which is why a lot of dogs struggle to eat. You put the Rough Greens on it, they love it. It's not a dog food, it's a supplement you sprinkle on the top of the dog food, and it's full of all those things that make your dog healthier and happier. So get Rough Greens. Use the Jumpstart bag today for just $14.95. Start the process of getting your dog healthier and happier. If you want to see your dog thrive again, just go to roughgreens.com/blaze. That's ruffgreens.com/blaze. Roughgreens.com/blaze. Help your dog feel better. And you're going to see. Give it a 2-week challenge and you'll see, oh my gosh, my dog is like when he was so much younger, so much great. That they love it. Start them early. Start them early. Roughgreens.com/blaze.
The truth, straight, no chaser. Steve Deace.
Well, it's the Steve Deace program. Is it a show or a program? If you enjoy it, I guess it's a show. If you don't like it, it's the program, right? I think. 888-900-3393 is the phone number. If you want to participate in the show, please feel free to do that. You can follow me on social media as well. Jeff Fisher sitting in for Steve Deace today, the Steve Deace Show program. Jeffy JFR on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, Parler, Jeff Fisher Radio. And be sure to subscribe to my daily podcast, Chewing the Fat, with Jeff Fisher. And as long as you're, making your life that much better by subscribing to the podcast, Chewing the Fat, you may as well slide on over to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. It's the same name. So we worked hard on figuring out what we were going to call the YouTube channel after we named the podcast, and we thought, we might as well just name it the same thing, and we did. We had a few long meetings talking about it, trying to figure it out, and finally somebody said, hey, why don't you just call it Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher? And we all went, wow, why didn't we think of that? So racism has been solved, or at least anti-racism, at least, I don't know. We saw the ice cream company, Dryers, changing the Eskimo pie now to Eddie's Pie. Ugh. I mean, that's good. And that's a company that did meet for months to figure out what they were going to change Eskimo pie to. They had meetings. They actually had meetings for months. What are we going to change Eskimo pie to? It's been the name for 100 years. And we don't want people to think that we hate Eskimos. So what are we going to name it? Well, one of the founders' names was I think Eddie, so we can name it that. Oh, okay, good. Let's do that. Well, Yelp has come along for the ride as well. Yelp posted today that their top priority is to ensure the trust and safety of our community and provide users with reliable content to inform their spending decisions, including decisions about whether they'll be welcome and safe at a particular business. When we notice an unusual spike in activity on a business's Yelp page, our team of moderators will investigate and temporarily disable content as we place an alert on the business page to warn users that some of these reviews may not be based on first-hand experiences. Oh, here's what we'll do when an incident involving racism occurs. We'll default to a general public attention alert to inform consumers if someone associated with the business was accused of or a target of racist behavior. Now, we'll only escalate to a business accused of racist behavior alert when there's resounding evidence of egregious racist actions from a business owner or employee, such as using overtly racist slurs or symbols. And this alert will always link to a news article from a credible media outlet so users can learn more. Well, I have a couple questions. Right off the top of my head, the first couple questions come to mind is, who are your credible media sources that you're going to link to? I think I could guess, but I'd like to know. And I'd like to know what causes, if it's just one Yelp review that says, this person called me the N-word and put it on my receipt. Does that automatically flag the restaurant? Or do you actually do some investigation? Or do you wait for that particular establishment, like other social media accounts? Oh, did we stop your account? Oh, man, we're so sorry. That algorithm. Man, that darn algorithm. I mean, no problem. It's just a mix-up. Sure, go ahead. You complained, and we saw the problem, so you're back. You're good now. Don't worry about it. You might as well just take that post down, though. You might as well just take it down so we don't have, and nobody has to see it. You mean someone lied about your restaurant and said that something racist happened in it, and now you're getting this public attention alert on your Yelp reviews? Oh, I couldn't see that happening. I couldn't see that happening at all, because we know that so many of these racist accusations prove to be false. This, I didn't open it, but this brings me to the story that I'm sure, I don't know if Steve talked about it or not. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to talk about it. But the Madison Police Department, when they talked about the biracial woman that was attacked, and now I can't open because they want to ask me a bunch of questions. So what type of smartphone do you own? All right, I own an Android. I answered it. Can I go now? Am I done? Or show me a different question. I answered your question! Android! Smartphone! Next! Let me see the story. At least they're not offering to charge me money. You've reached your limit. Okay, so they announced the Monona woman. She claimed that she was burned by 4 white men in downtown Madison in June, and what was initially reported as a hate crime. I mean, it was everywhere. It got national attention that this woman was attacked. They threw lighter fluid on her. They started her on fire, and she was just driving in her car in a street in Wisconsin. Not where all the riots were. I mean, all the peaceful protests were, but, just outside of that. All right, on June 24th. And she claimed that they yelled a racial epithet at her. Oh, okay, well, that's horrible. And, if that happened, we need to investigate, and that's despicable if that happened. Well, the police investigated, and the FBI investigated, and the Civil Rights Division specifically of the U.S. Department of Justice investigated. And they went after since June 24th. After reviewing all available evidence, authorities could not establish that the attack, as alleged by the complainant, had occurred. I just made it up. Now, something happened because she went to the ER and during the investigation they found some sort of fluid on her blouse that could have been lighter fluid, but it wasn't all over the car or on any other pieces of clothing that she had on. So when, assuming that you walk up to a car that's stopped at a light and spray lighter fluid, do you do it delicately enough to just reach a little bit on the blouse? I think not. You're just spraying it all over. And they looked at videotapes. Tapes or video. They looked at the video, and they couldn't find anything that happened. So that takes us to the Yelp reviews. Back to the Yelp reviews. So nothing could possibly go wrong, right? Nobody's going to just... I mean, we already know that restaurants are routinely hammered on Yelp from BLM and from Antifa and from many others who dislike a place or got angry because they thought they were charged too much, or they said they want to close a place down, or they went to your restaurant and the server wouldn't raise their fist in the Black Lives Matter fist. So now they just give bad reviews on Yelp and just inundate the reviews. And I guess hopefully Yelp, investigates and finds that it's not true. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know if the restaurants have to complain. If you own a restaurant that uses, that uses Yelp, and sure, everyone does today, and you're actually open in today's world, at least you've got some tables out front and people are coming in. I'd be interested to know, if you get bad Yelp reviews, what the process is. Is it just, you have to wait for Yelp to work through it, or do you complain to Yelp and say, yo, Yelp? I think that's actually it. You go to Yelp, and they'll look into it. But it's just strange to me that I'm guessing nothing could go wrong with the Yelp plan, but I could be wrong. Look, they want to fix racism and they want to help. I get it. It's important. It's the next step to welcoming a safe environment. Doggone it. And we just care so much. We want people to know that if something was yelled at you or something racist happened to you at a restaurant, we want to know about it. Well, yeah. We should. If it happens, if it actually happens, we do want to know. Thank you. Did you see where, okay, so I know last time I was here we talked, this mask mandate thing is driving me insane, I know. And, I understand the process of it. I don't understand the not having a choice as Americans to wear the mask or not wear the mask. And every place is being disinfected from top to bottom, and every place has to have extra hand sanitizer. And when you walk, you can't walk by anything. You put your hand on something, disinfected. And some of the stadiums that are opening up around the country, college football, professional football, are, while they're welcoming fans, some are welcoming fans, they, have massive disinfecting programs. Well, I see where Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta has drones that are flying around the stadium, and we've got video of the drone flying around the stadium. It's really kind of cool, right? It's a sanitation process using the Lucid drone technologies, and they help cover the large areas. The stadium has 2 drones that they use and one sitting on the sidelines, waiting to be used if the one drone goes down. But it sprays all over it kills shouldn't say it kills, it prevents. It prevents harmful bacteria and virus. And so it just disinfects everything. It's non-toxic hypochlorous acid solution. Okay. All right. You tell me it's non-toxic. I believe you. It's got maximum effectiveness without being harmful. Oh. Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad to know that. But it is kind of cool. Now, I will say that they say the drones allow for a 95% reduction spent cleaning and seating the bowl in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Wow. If that's true, human employees will be gone soon. Now, they say, well, it gives us the ability to redeploy associates in other areas. Uh-huh. Sure. But it's more efficient than the backpack foggers, and they have just employees setting up hand wipes and cleaning other specialized areas, I guess. So, if it's allowing 95% reduction in time spent cleaning, Bob and Lucy aren't going to be doing it for much longer. I guarantee you that. And soon, if I'm that stadium, I want to use them for security too. I want the drones sitting up top, and just when some doofus in section A, seat 40 starts messing up, security drone comes down, shines a light on him. That'd be awesome. You need to stop what you're doing right now. We're going to have you removed from the stadium. And then you send in the humans or the robots. But, I know. And look, that's inside a stadium, which is kind of cool. And you have limited flying area. But drones are becoming more and more part of our lives every day. Here in DFW, where we're located at here, where the Blaze Mercury Studios are located at, it's a big Amazon area. I'm ready for the drones. I want the drones to deliver. I want to be able to go, yes, I'd like some new toothpaste, and have the drone drop it in my backyard. I want it there right now. No problem. This having to wait up to 6 hours to have a delivery, My gosh, how could I get by in life? If you have to wait, sometimes I have to wait until the next day for something that I order. That cannot stand. I want to be able to order it and have the drone drop it off in the yard. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with airspace. The FAA has, given the go-ahead for some drones to start delivering. And I know in North Carolina, I know in Florida, they're delivering with some drones. Some Walmarts and some other pharmacies are delivering medicines. And they've got the go-ahead. But when you start talking about large metropolitan areas with dozens of drones flying, delivering goods and items, I don't know. I don't know how we have obviously one of the busiest airports in the world here in DFW, and planes are coming in and out. Yes, even in today's world, even in the post-COVID haze, planes do still fly. Not as much, though, but they do still fly. But, I mean, they're now successfully delivering human organs for transplant. 2 test flights in Vegas or Nevada where they tested delivering organs. You slap the cornea and the kidney in a box, and mission go says up it goes and fly away. It's awesome and great. Now, they say that it's because they want to try to reduce carbon footprint. Oh, that's so nice. Now, if it helps in getting a kidney to someone faster or a cornea to someone faster, great. If by doing that, it does reduce the carbon footprint, great. But I would rather be able to get the kidney and the cornea there, and I am not really concerned about the carbon footprint. If I need a cornea and I'm laying in the emergency room, I don't give a crap about the carbon footprint. No, sir. I want my kidney dropped in the backyard right now. I mean, maybe it's just me. Get your requests in right now, 888-900-3393. And we'll try to get the hits on for you. The third caller will be winning Arby and Jamocha Shake and a free lube from Harry's Auto. And it'll be good to go here on the All Request Lunch Hour. That's not really true. It's Jeff Fisher in for Steve Deace on the Steve Deace program here on the Blaze Television and Radio and Podcast Network. So if you are listening to this and you're not a subscriber to Blaze TV, I'm going to tell you a couple ways to enhance your life. Okay, you can subscribe to Blaze Television Network. You can go to blazetv.com/Jeffy, Jeffy, or it's probably /Steve for the Steve Deace Show. Or, and then you can use the promo code Jeffy, Jeffy. That'll get you probably $10 off or something like that. But if you use, and I heard Glenn say this today, the Glenn Beck guy. There was a show on this network too. He said, use Glenn Debates as the promo code and get yourself $20 off. So you can try, Glenn Debates and see how much it is. You can try Jeffy and see how much it is. And whichever one gets you more off, that's the one you use. And you become a subscriber to Blaze Television Network. And you save. Look, it's always more important to have more voices, not less. More voices. And in these times, we are seeing how they are attempting and succeeding in many ways of creating less voices. And that cannot be. That will not stand. So blazetv.com and subscribe, okay? And, here in a little bit, I'll tell you how to subscribe to another show that's awesome. And it's not even going to cost you a dime, okay? It's free. So, I might as well just tell you now. I might as well just break the news to you now. You can subscribe to Chewing the Fat with yours truly, Jeff Fisher, for free. And if you're listening to this show and or have listened to Chewing the Fat and you're not a subscriber, what's that? They're telling me in my ear, no, I'm not going to call them that. No. No, I just think that they'd live a better life if they'd just become a subscriber. It's just better that way. So do that and enhance your life. So I'm reading a story yesterday about Canada, our friends, I say that, our friends to the north. And, a lot of things that happen in Canada trickle down. And sometimes it gets on us, and I don't like it. And we've had, since the COVID pandemic lockdown, some things that were trying to happen before are now rearing their ugly heads again. And I see where they say that in Canada, yay, that single-use they're going to save the earth. Actually, what's going to happen, they're going to save the earth. Single-use plastics are going to be banned in Canada. Yay! So, grocery bags, I should say plastic grocery bags, straws, stir sticks, six-pack rings, cutlery, and food containers made from hard-to-recycle plastics will be out of use nationwide by the end of 2021. Yay! Now, they've got a few steps that they're planning to achieve this zero plastic waste by 2030. So they're going to get rid of single-use plastic by the end of 2021. Almost said this year. I want 2020 to be over so bad. And then it's going to be 2021, and you're going to say, man, I wish I could get 2020 back, but this is the way it is. But they're going to end it in Canada by 2030. Yay! So apparently, the stores are going to be providing you with alternatives to these plastic products. I'd like to know what those alternatives are. I'd like to know if they just throw them in your arms and tell you to get out. Do they make you, like some grocery stores here in America do, buy a bag, a cloth bag, which we know carries germs even worse? I'd be interested to see what they're going to do, which is why, do we have Brian Lilly? Is he there? I wanted to talk to Brian Lilly, our man, our friend, an actual friend in Canada, our neighbor up north, an actual friend, Brian Lilly, who is our, the special Chewing the Fat, Blaze Television Radio Network Canadian reporter, Canadian correspondent on the line. Brian Lilly, how in the world are you?
I'm doing better for talking to you, Jeffy. Been a long time.
My gosh, don't. I don't need the pity. I don't. So Brian, what do you, aside from being the, number one Canadian correspondent for Chewing the Fat and Blaze Television and Radio Network, what are you doing now? What's going on?
Well, I'm a columnist for the Toronto Sun, and spending a lot of time chasing down our various governments over what they're doing. We're about to go into a news conference where they're about to bring down a bunch of new restrictions on Toronto, on Ottawa, our nation's capital, and some of our suburbs of Toronto. And we're talking about major restrictions on the fourth largest city in North America.
Well, so have they done it before? Is this the second wave of lockdowns and rules and mandates coming, or is this now they're just saying we're going to do it for good?
No, this is the second wave.
Yeah.
And so we went into a state of emergency March 16th or 17th.
Right, it was like everyone else, right?
And then the rules were relaxed at first in June and then a bit more in July, and things were moving back to normal. Now we are just about to hear, the doctors are just getting up to the podium, they are going to ban indoor dining.
I mean, it feels like we're getting close to another huge lockdown again for everyone, because they keep reporting the numbers are going up. And I said earlier in the show, it feels like, and being proven now in Canada, that another big lockdown is coming. I don't know.
Well, I would think so. I mean, our numbers, depending on which part of the United States you're comparing us to, our numbers go in different ways. Like we were earlier than Florida and Texas.
Right.
But our lockdowns were also not as severe as some states. Some of the Democratic governed states had stricter lockdowns than us.
And still do, really. But
yeah, but we'd gotten back to indoor dining. I was out at a book launch in a restaurant the other day. A friend of mine owns a restaurant. He's put out a cookbook of how to cook game meat. So this is like, once you've stripped down your deer and you cut it up, here's how to make it gourmet.
Right. Nice.
And you know what? Everyone's spaced apart. You know, if you don't know the people, you're not sitting next to them. You're sitting 6 feet apart. There's plexiglass everywhere. There's hand sanitizer.
Wow.
People are wearing masks when they leave the table. But we're still finding a way to have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's all over. But what they haven't shown, Jeffy, and this is what I think everybody has to do, is say, show me the evidence.
Yeah.
Show me the evidence that what you want to do is backed up by data and science. If they can, well, maybe I'll say, yeah, okay, I'm on board.
Well,
But
they'll
if you're
just say the
gonna
numbers. They'll show you the stats that the numbers are on the rise, right? The number of cases are on the rise, and because of that, they need to lock it down.
Okay, cases are on the rise, but are hospital admissions? Yes, they are, but not as much. At least these are the numbers here.
No, I know.
Cases are
I get it.
dramatically, but hospitals and ICUs are not.
Yeah,
So
I know.
And
I'm
how do
not
you know that
arguing
it's
with you,
coming
Brian.
from a
Calm down,
restaurant?
okay?
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with you. Calm
No,
the hell
I-
down. I'm agreeing with
I'm
you.
arguing with the doctor. but I just think politicians and medical professionals across the continent have done a bad job of bringing people along. And if you want the public on board, you got to talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, Canada a little bit different than the U.S., but I don't know that a great many of Americans, at least I'd like to believe so, would be a thumbs up to another lockdown. I just don't. I think that that would not go over well. So we're getting ready to see that in Canada. So does that put the plastic ban off to the side, or are we just going to plow through with that too?
We're just going to plow through with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the middle of
That's
telling
awesome.
restaurants you just got to do takeout, but don't use plastic knives and forks. Buy a more expensive option. And
Do I get China? Do I get to take China home every day from the restaurant? Because I might get takeout if that's the case.
Did your mother used to get China when she spent enough at the Safeway years ago?
Right,
Or,
with the
whatever.
yes.
Maybe we'll go back to that sort of thing. If you buy enough meals, you get a China plate to go
But
home.
what are you
with,
eating
and we
on
can have these
before then?
collections.
I don't understand. I really, seriously, I don't understand.
It's interesting. In Canada, Democrats are always good in our media. Republicans are always bad. I think you have a similar thing in your media.
Yeah, yeah.
But our Liberal Party, run by the illustrious and glorious, peace be upon him, Justin Trudeau, is
He's still in office,
almost, yeah, and he's almost like a branch plant to the Democrats.
Yes, I
He's
know.
even using Joe Biden's slogan. He's walking around saying, "We've got to build back better." What? So,
awesome.
Build Back Better is now a Canadian slogan. You're just ripping off Basement Biden.
Wow.
And, and then turning around telling us we have to ban plastics, which plastic use has gone through the roof. Plastic gloves.
Of course.
Face masks, the face shields. There's a couple of restaurants that I go to where, the guy behind the counter serving you for takeout is using a face shield. Maybe they say, well, that's not single use. Yeah, but he's not using it for 3 years.
Right, or it should be.
He's
That's
using
for
it
sure.
a few times, cleaning it a few times, and then getting a new one.
Right.
But they are determined to do this. Canada is an energy superpower. Until just a couple of years ago when you guys really opened up fracking, we were producing way more oil than you and providing a lot of your oil. And we've got a government now that says we don't want oil anymore. We don't want oil products.
Well,
So they
I
don't
mean,
want
that's look.
pipelines. They don't want oil. They don't want plastics.
You're doing the Joe Biden slogan that they might as well live. You're going to walk the walk. You might as well do it.
Yeah, well, we don't have a lot of fracking up here. We got just a lot of old-fashioned
No,
oil.
right.
But he still doesn't want it.
It's amazing. So, do we
We
still
would
have?
try
I
and
heard a
track it
story.
if we
You
could.
can tell me if it's true or not. But I heard a way. Like I know that Canada had a thing where I had to I couldn't come into the country, right? Or I had to quarantine for 14 days or whatever. But there was a way that if I came through and said I was just passing through, just driving through, they would let me in. I could just drive, and then I could just hang out anywhere I wanted. Is that true?
Yeah, but they're trying to crack down on that. A lot of Alaskans make their way down to the mainland of the United States, I guess you'd call it, through Canada.
Yeah, amazing how that happens.
You've either got to do that or fly. And so people were saying, "Oh, I'm going to Alaska," and then they're just hanging out in the wilds of British Columbia, which is beautiful. You got great skiing and mountains and wonderful nature, but no,
not really. We're on our way. We just haven't made it yet. I love that so much. I do. So, do you see light at the end of the tunnel, Brian Lilly from the Toronto Sun, our Canadian correspondent on Blaze Television and Radio Network? Is there light at the tunnel, or is it just covered up with plastic now?
It's covered up with plastic right now. If you'd asked me a couple of days ago, I would have said differently. The drumbeat from our lock it down, please media has been relentless. They only know how to ask two questions, most of them. How many cases are there, and when will you lock us down?
Right.
So, imagine being a politician where you've got a pile of doctors waging a public relations campaign against you, saying you've got to lock it down or everyone's going to die. And then you've got the media repeating that without talking to the other doctors, of which there are many, saying, no, we can handle this in other ways.
Don't do it. That's okay.
And then you're down in Texas. If Governor Greg Abbott just faced a constant barrage of lock us down and we're all going to die, eventually the public would be like, well, if Governor Abbott doesn't lock us down, we're all going to die.
Yeah, well, they're attempting that very much. I mean, he's been coerced down that road farther than I would have liked, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, there can be sensible restrictive measures that we can do. Hospital down the street from me just put in visitor restrictions. Okay, great. People in hospital are quite vulnerable. Look after them. Retirement homes, long-term care homes, nursing homes. Stop people with COVID-19 from going in there. They are the most vulnerable.
I'm a fan of that. I am.
But the 20-year-olds hanging out at the patio bar downstairs from my building here in Toronto, why are you stopping that?
I know. Anyway, I just wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Actually, Brian, is the only reason I really wanted to talk to you. I found a reason to talk to you because I hadn't talked to you in so long. So if I want to,
we'll talk again soon.
Do I get to follow you on some kind of social media account, or do I just have to go to the Toronto Sun and buy an actual newspaper? I mean, do you have actual
Brian
newspapers
Lilly
anymore? Or?
I still get it delivered to my door.
Nice.
You got to support your own product. Never mind. You can follow me on Twitter at Brian Lilly. All my stuff goes up there.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you again, my friend. Be safe. Wow. See, now I'll tell you what. That's incredible news that they're getting ready to do some more lockdown measures. I knew it. Drives me crazy. I'm not even worried about the plastic anymore, which is just incredible in and of itself. I mean, we're just going to ban it. Plastic saved this planet. Ruined this planet. And now it's, we don't care. It's petrotechnology. That's part of the deal. Now that I think about it, it's petrotechnology. We don't want anything to do with anything oil. So if you're making plastics with that petrotechnology, you're evil. Okay? You're evil. Got it? Okay. Let's do, I was looking at some of this for the Dirtbag segment of the Steve Deace program here on Blaze Television and Radio Network. We have like 3 top dirtbags, and one, is officially a dirtbag, and the other 2 are on their way. 2 are still alive. 1 is not. You have Harvey Weinstein, currently held at prison in Western New York State. They already sentenced this man to 23 years back in March. All right. Now, California wants to extradite him for 6 more charges involving 5 victims for crimes dating from 2004 to 2013. Okay. He's the number 1 in the dirtbag pile. And some of that Some of the accusations on Harvey were even like, wait, you couldn't say no? Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girl, has a new accuser, identified only by a fake name, Samantha, insisted that Maxwell was the real monster and said she wants to see her suffer in prison. I don't want her to die like Epstein. I want her to suffer. Now, she claims that she was gagged, restrained, and raped by Ghislaine, and then Jeffrey came in. Oh, okay. It's good that she didn't report this at all when it happened, after it happened, or when Jeffrey was alive. I'm not saying it isn't true, but it is a coincidence that she was too scared to come forward before now. And, she came forward with her attorney, of course. And I'm sure it's just a coincidence that now she's okay with telling everyone this while she's submitting an application to the Epstein Compensation Fund. Now she's willing to talk to investigators. I find that a real coincidence. Not saying it didn't happen, Samantha. I'm just saying it's funny how you couldn't come forward prior to this time. And the latest in the dirtbag list, Ravi Zacharias, the evangelical leader. I mean, I like him. I loved him. He's passed away now. I know. But now that he's dead and they're starting to go through all the money, starting to see where the money was and what happened and who's got what and who's going where. So now they say multiple women claim that he sexually harassed them. Oh, okay. They couldn't come forward while he was still alive. This had to only happen after he died. Because, look, they're all employees. He built trust with them. And, he was the guy. He was the head guy. He was not only, the leader, he was one of the most prominent speakers and authors. I know. So he'd go to his Georgia spa, according to this, and he would pleasure himself. And she claims, one of the ladies claimed, that he asked for explicit photos and asked to have sex twice. And that he pleasured himself more than 50 times in front of her. Okay. She claims, I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. You have this world-renowned evangelist who's being inappropriate. I just didn't know what to do. Let me help you with that. Hey, Rav, why don't you put that thing away? If it's true, at what point do you say, Ravi, baby, man, dude, just zip up? Well, come on now. At some point, was it after the first 10 times that you couldn't say no? Was it after the first 20? Okay, I gave you 30 times. 40 times. 50 times. You were at the 50 mark. At the 50 mark, is that when you decided, gosh darn, if he doesn't die of this cancer he's got, that I'm going to tell him no? Is that the mark? Is that the mark? Okay, so we heard from the one comedian who was asking everybody if he could take care of himself in front of them, and they were saying, I just didn't know what to do. Here you go. How about no? One of his friends, the comedian's friends, I remember, I wish I had the story in front of me. One of the comedian's friends even said to him, he used to ask me all the time, and I would just say no. Some nights I would say, whatever, go ahead. Other nights I was like, dude, we're eating pizza. Leave me alone. So, she was saying that it was okay. It was okay because it was okay. He was asking. You say, no. Hey, Rav, here you go. Tell you what you do. No. Put that thing away. I don't understand how you can't say no. I just don't. And one of the case, he settled the case a couple years ago. I do remember hearing about the case that he settled. So this lady claimed, another woman claimed, that he had enticed her. So again, he asked and enticed her. She didn't just do it. He didn't force her to do it. He enticed her to send offensive, sexually explicit language and photographs. Wait. He enticed you to do that. Okay. Now, Zacharias denied those claims. And he said, it was all bull, but he just wanted to get rid of it and put it behind him, and he learned an important lesson. Now, look, is it true? I have no way of knowing. Does it sound like something that could be true in today's world? Absolutely. Absolutely could be true. But I really have a tough time feeling bad for these women, and I guess I probably should. If he's forcing them, I absolutely feel bad. And he absolutely should be, there should be consequences for that. 100%. But if he's asking, hey, could you send me photos of you naked doing this? And you can't say, no, Rav, I'm not doing that. In fact, I'm not going to be associated with you anymore. I'm going to go over here. I know this spa is yours here, but I'm not going to work here anymore, or I'm not going to be part of anything that you have to do with here. How about that? And then, if you're one of the women that he said, hey, mind if I do this to myself in front of you? Because, look, I need this. I work so darn hard, and I really, as I travel the world, I just don't have time. I need this. So do you mind if I do? Rav, no, you're not going to do that here. No, you know what? No. Put it away. What are you doing? Zip up. Let's get out of here. I just don't understand how you don't say, how about no? No, Rav. Put that thing away. I feel like, Monsters, Inc. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. It's just, no, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, okay. Dirtbag segment on Steve Deace. Just say no. Just say no. That's what I say. Just say no. If someone comes to you and says, hey, mind if and you can't say no, then it's on you. Ooh, no, I shouldn't say that. So Kevin Costner, anyway, Kevin Costner put out a phone number that he wants people to text him. I love Kevin Costner. Huge fan. He's in the big new Yellowstone. And apparently he's got a new album out, which I don't know that I'm actually looking forward to hearing. But I will, the Tales from Yellowstone album. I have not heard it. I apologize. So it might be great. It might be great. On the other hand, it might not be. But he wants people to text him at this number. Now, I text him, and I'm waiting for, Kevin to text me back. Just like, I'm going to post for Oreo and hope to get some LGBTQIA plus alphabet cookies from Oreos. But I got to thinking, we should call this number. And maybe Kev will pick up. Right? So he put the number on his Instagram, 1-310-564-0506. So call him right now. I want to do it on the air because if Kevin picks up, we'll be talking to Kevin Costner. I'm a huge fan. I love Yellowstone. He just did Highwaymen on Netflix, which was awesome. I love his work. And some of his movies I love to this day. Mr. Brooks, the serial killer movie, great. So dial the number. Just dial it on the air. I want to hear it. I want to hear those tones. No, I didn't even hear. I want to hear you dial it too. But that's fine. Let's see if Kevin picks up. Because Kevin, pick up. How you doing? I know it's a text number, but go ahead, pick up.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Oh, see, that hurts. That hurts. So now I'm going to have to text Kev again and say, dude, pick up the phone, bro. What are you doing? So you can text him and, he'll text you back maybe. He said maybe he would, that he would. And, of course, when you text him, they want you to subscribe to the text service. So Kevin just didn't do this out of the bottom of his heart. Big surprise. But I really want him to pick up. I really feel like if I call the number enough, he'll pick up. It's the same number. And I think finally he's going to just do that one at some point. It's like the people who call and scam you, right? The amount of calls they make, sooner or later they catch somebody. So like the emails I get from Reem Hashimi that wants to help me get rich by bringing $44 million into the country from the Arab Emirates. So I think if I just keep calling this number, sooner or later Kevin's going to be at the phone. He's going to be looking to text somebody back, and it's going to ring. And he's going to go, I'll just pick it up. Hello, this is Kevin. And then I get to talk to him. It'll be odd. I needed to have that happen. And I was just hoping for that to happen on the air today because it'd be really nice to talk to Kevin Costner. But no, still the voicemail is full. And it couldn't be that they have it set up just to accept texts and it goes right to voicemail no matter who calls. Couldn't be that at all. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Don't shoot down my hopes, my fandom, because he's going to pick up someday and I'm going to talk to him. He is. Hello, Kevin? Yeah. Who is this? Hey, this is Jeff Fisher from The Blaze. And I just want to say what a fan I am, and thanks for picking up.
This is
Hello,
Steve
Kevin?
Deace. This is Steve Deace.
No, it's not. I'll get the mic. You don't have to get pushy and turn the mic on. I got it. Welcome to the Steve Deace program on the Blaze Radio and Television Network. Jeff Fisher sitting in for Steve and the crew today. I'm not sure if they just took an extra day off, if they just felt like taking some time off. They're going to a ball game. I don't know what they're doing. But they'll be back on Monday, I guess. And if not, I'll be here. So be sure to subscribe to the Blaze Television Network. You can get 20% off if you use Glenn Debates. Or you can just use, blazetv.com/Jeffy, Jeffy. Use the promo code Jeffy and get yourself, I don't know, it gets you a couple bucks off anyway. Saves you a little money. The Glenn one probably gets you more off. Okay. So we just heard a little bit ago from our man Brian Lilly in Canada that he was headed into a press conference where they're getting ready to do some more lockdowns. A second wave of lockdowns. And I told you in the very first segment of this program today that it felt like all the reporting from around the globe is telling us how the numbers are getting worse, the cases are going up, and it feels like, I'm just going by feelings, we're all supposed to be feeling, that they're getting ready to try to ram another lockdown down our throats. And so I see a new book from Michael Betrus talking about COVID-19 lockdowns on trial. And I take a look, and he analyzed all these medical and social data, which I read and I see, but I definitely am not. I am not Michael. I'm not going to spend the time analyzing it. I've got way too much on my plate, and really it's just kind of, okay, yeah, that's what the numbers say. But a guy like Michael Betrus got dug in and started counting the numbers. Michael, welcome to the Steve Deace program on the Blaze Television and Radio Network. How are you, sir?
Hey, Jeff. Good afternoon.
So, Michael, first of all, you dug into the numbers. Why? I mean, do you have a hateful place in your heart against you, or do you just love numbers?
First of all, you guys have done some excellent coverage on this, and I want to. We need some of that reality information to get out there. Yeah, what happened with me was, by the way, I live in Dallas too, and going back to February and March, I followed the 2 cruise ships that were quarantined.
Yeah.
As a casual interest.
Came into California, right?
Particularly, the second one was in the Far East. The second was in California.
Yeah.
And if you remember, the second one was when it was porting in after a few days out in the Pacific. It was kind of covered like the Bronco chase.
Yeah.
And so
yes, it was exactly like the Bronco case.
And so I thought, wow, this is kind of a big deal, right? Wuhan had locked down, and what's going to happen here? This was before the lockdowns happened. And then when the ship ported in, really nothing happened. And I thought that was odd, given that, Wuhan had locked down and all this hype. And then about 10 days later, the Imperial College released their famous 2.2 million deaths in a do-nothing scenario in America.
Yep.
And I thought, no way that's true, because we would have had more catastrophe on the cruise ships. And so I pulled apart the model. I pulled apart the Imperial College model. I applied their data inputs to the data, the demographics from the cruise ships, and we should have had 155 deaths on the cruise ships if their model was right. And we had 10 out of 7,400 people. And they were all elderly. And so it made me think this is... And then a couple days later, we locked down, California first, and then a couple other states. And then we were on our way.
Before the 15 days to flatten the curve, we were all already starting to social distance. We were starting to not go out. We were starting to not go to restaurants because we wanted to use a little bit of personal responsibility and a little bit of our own smarts as Americans do, and say, okay, well, man, then I'll just need, if it's going to come and it's going to be bad, then it's going to be worse than the flu. I know I'm not supposed to make that comparison, but then we'll back off a little bit, and then we went into this 15-day curve willingly, 15-day to flatten the curve willingly, and then it was like, well, then we're going to lock it all down. That hurt a lot.
Right. Yeah, absolutely right. And one thing in comparisons to the flu. So if there's anything we're lucky about, we'll use the term kind of loosely, but is that COVID-19 it has sort of an asymmetric impact compared to the flu, where if you're really healthy and under 50 or 60, you're at less risk than the flu. If you are older than 70 and you've got certain
underlying
comorbidities,
issues, yeah.
2 or and we know what those are by now. It is worse than the flu.
Yeah.
So, but in a way, what's sort of gifted about this is we can identify those at risk easier than you can with the flu. Hey, Jeff, would you mind? You guys have done some excellent coverage on this. I followed a lot of your reporting, and so one thing I think that might be a little different to discuss. That a lot of people don't talk about is the media impact on all this. I think it's easy to kind of pick on blue state leaders and
sure.
Democrats and politicize it.
Most definitely is.
But I really feel like the fuel, the engine behind this, isn't the politics of it. It's really the media. The media has given the politics the green light.
Michael, we've talked. I mean, if you're familiar with the network and the shows, and even the show, the couple of shows that I'm a part of, I mean, we definitely have talked about that, and the hypocrisy on that is incredible. And I know I keep using incredible, and I don't think it means incredible anymore. But yes, Michael, go ahead. It's all you have the floor.
Yeah, so I think what you're seeing in so many places, you're seeing even in states like Texas, a predominantly conservative area, and certainly North Dallas where I live, and you've genuinely got people that are afraid, even if they're conservatives. I mean, really sincerely, they're not.
I know.
Not politicized. They're really afraid to sit indoors in some restaurants. They're uncomfortable going shop. Different things like that. I've got a couple hardcore Second Amendment conservative friends that haven't come over to my house to play poker in 6 months. Out of fear, but my liberal friends are coming over, a couple times a month. So
right.
There's genuine fear out there, and so, an example of that is you see what's going on in Wisconsin, where there's a bit of a panic right now, and certainly cases are spiking in Wisconsin, but hospital capacity is at 6.6%. COVID patients to total beds available. That's not a panic situation. And so what you saw early on in the spring was sort of a symmetric or a parallel flow between cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. kind of time around, partly our treatments have gotten better and things, and younger people are getting infected, you're not seeing that same parallel. You're seeing high cases, but kind of a much lower, flatter hospitalizations and fatalities.
Well,
and so
really,
there's so much good news.
Right, really. I mean, that would be expected if the people who are under the window age are going back out and involving themselves with other humans. You're going to have more cases, but they're younger, and so they're not going to get hospitalization, right? I mean, that should be expected.
Yeah, and Scott Atlas has done some really good commentary on this. Thank goodness there's a voice of reason in the White House. And so when you talk about things like herd immunity, and some people are really bashing that, and it's crazy because there's no other explanation for what's happening in the entire Northeast in New York City. I mean, they're talking about relocking down New York City.
Yeah.
There are statistically 0% COVID hospitalizations for 3 months. Statistically zero. I mean, it's a lot, compared to beds, it doesn't even measure.
Right.
And how do you justify locking down and closing schools and things like that when, to your point, you want to flatten the curve, but we're so beyond that. Now it's like we need to get to an absolute zero. That's an unrealistic expectation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've wanted, look, they moved, the line has been moved and it started, I don't know, the line really moved, 3 weeks ago maybe when we started talking about the vaccine and whether or not to get the vaccine. And then once they, beat that horse down with, I don't know that I trust Trump, and, maybe we're not take the vaccine. And then we reached a point where the vaccine isn't going to be, if you take the vaccine, you're still going to get sick. It might not work, and it's not going to work for everybody. So then the people who want to keep things locked down said, well, we can't unlock down until everyone's going to be safe. Well, that's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen, and thank goodness. Clearly, you follow this stuff, and so Sunetra Gupta and a couple other leading epidemiologists got together and have been on kind of the interview circuit lately. But Gupta has really been since the Imperial College model came out, has been saying this thing's overblown, lockdowns are bad, and herd immunity is your only way out. And again, you're seeing that in a lot of different areas of the country. You're seeing it in Michigan. You're going to see it in Texas, over time. Over time means, this quarter. And getting that resistance for this. I mean, people on Twitter, you can tell that when you try to share some reality data, there's big resistance.
Oh, there's a lot of resistance. Yeah, you grow under fire right away. I mean, that's social media, right? And the social media companies themselves are helping with that push. No question.
Well, I mean, like a couple great examples of this. I remember you would remember the Sturgis bike rally, right? And there was an article that came out that was absurd, saying there might be 250,000 and cases out of this and $1 billion or 1.4, something like that. And then nobody follows up that within 3 weeks, which is when it would have hit. If it was going to hit, it would hit within 21 days. Nothing happened, and there's no follow up reporting to that. And then you see, MSNBC was freaking out over about 5 or 6 weeks ago, a Jacksonville high school that was filled up in the stands, and they're like, oh my God, it's going to be a super spreader event. And then nothing happened and no follow-up.
I know.
So I really feel like Florida opened up, going to full capacity at stadiums. All eyes will be on Florida for the next 30 days.
Oh, no question. And they want to go after DeSantis anyway, the governor. His one line was calling people that don't believe in this. Gosh darn it! I thought I had it here where he calling them equivalent to. If you advocate school closures, you're the flat earthers of our day. I mean, he wants to open things back up now.
Yeah, and so and Kristi Noem's done a great job, but Kristi Noem doesn't have a power state like DeSantis does.
No, she doesn't.
Although she's done some great leadership, and DeSantis has the way that he stood up to this, and what you're seeing now is you're seeing about 4%. You compare California and Florida, right? 4% of hospitalizations in California are COVID. 3.8% in Florida are COVID. Now, to me, those are the same numbers, right? So that's statistically the same. But one's locked down and one's free. And watch over 30 days, you're going to see similar numbers in parallel. And the reason is the lockdowns don't work, but the kind of opening this up and allowing a little bit of spread and everybody to kind of get through this curve, that's the way out of this. And it's hard to imagine that people don't understand that, and the media doesn't. Most of the mainstream media sources just don't report on that.
Do you feel, we're talking to Michael Beatrice, author of COVID-19 Lockdowns on Trial. Do you feel like it will reach a point where the madness will stop? Or even because, look, you dove into the numbers. The numbers obviously don't lie. You can make them say, I guess, different things like we see all the time, but they really don't lie. And we see hospitals, we saw hospitals here in Texas, close down the COVID-19 wings, the coronavirus wings, because they got nobody. We're ready.
Oh, yeah,
ready.
I mean, Baylor Scott was ready to, you're here, Baylor Scott was ready to lay off hundreds of doctors in June if things didn't open up. I mean, when this thing was going on in April, I decided to write this book around April, the first week of April. And I was telling my friends, I'm studying the data a lot hardcore. This thing's going to unwind by May 1st. It did kind of unwind by May 1st, but and we did open up a little. I'm shocked that, Jeff, that we're still in this situation. I'm shocked.
I know. Well, look, we're seeing the numbers rise in Europe. I don't know about the hospitalizations again because we know that I have the numbers are on the rise. So and we see that the numbers again, like you say, are on the rise in different areas. We talked to our man in Canada today. He was walking into a press conference where they're getting ready to lock down other areas because the numbers are increasing, and that's the same thing that's happening. Where nobody is taking all the data and saying
the problem is. The real problem with these analytics, particularly in the media, but what our leaders are basing decisions on, is cases is almost a meaningless number because so many people are getting forced into testing and they're asymptomatic, and then you've got amplification that would enable about a 50% false positive, and you've also got people that are multiple tested. So when you see these case numbers, they could include the same person a couple times, and so you've got death counts that are also, they've got about a 50% wiggle room in terms of accuracy and timeliness. Hospitalizations is the truest of those three numbers to really monitor. And to me, I don't know how, in the spirit of your opening statement on flatten the curve, if your hospitalization capacity on COVID is under even 15%, let alone at the 4, 5, 6 range, I don't know how you answer to that, how you justify it.
I don't know either. Michael Beatrice, I know I could talk to you longer. I should have brought you on earlier. The book, COVID-19, Lockdowns on Trial. I'll talk to you again. I'm coming up against the clock here. I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you very much. And
Thank you so much.
Hey, keep your head down and wear your mask. Don't. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. All right, Michael Beatrice. The book, COVID-19, Lockdown on Trial. We are in a very, very strange place. You know that. You know that as well as I do. And for those of you that still believe in personal responsibility and if it's your choice, and if you want to be the guys that don't want to go over to Michael's house and play poker, great, no problem. But I shouldn't be mandated to stay in my house and not be able to go over to Michael's house and play poker, right? Isn't that the way it's supposed to work? Isn't that the way the United States, isn't that why we left those nasty sons of guns over there on the other side of the ocean? Yes, it is. We didn't want that anymore. I hope that it still holds true. I want it to still hold true. Please, dear Lord, make it so that it still holds true. All right, we're coming up. That's the end of this program already. Steve Deace program wrapping up already on a Friday. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride today. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time whenever Steve decides that he's too good for you people. He's not coming in. So, I mean, I don't know when that's going to be, but, when it is, I'll be here for you. Other than that, check me out on Chewing the Fat podcast every day. You can be a subscriber and change your life by subscribing to Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. It's just that simple.